And I'm like, what in the world? And so I started looking up the law about recording, when you can record somebody. And I want to tell you right now, everybody in the world has the right to privacy. If they are someone in their house or somewhere else and you are staying there, they have the right to privacy. But if anybody, no matter where you are, if they are committing a crime, if they are using psychological means to injure you, and you need to collect that evidence to prove your case, you are breaking no law, statute, regulation whatsoever. It is your right, above their right to privacy, if they are harming you or attempting to conspire to harm you, to protect yourself by gathering evidence to stop them. You learn that a lot of the laws are written to protect a certain group of people. And the Constitution says, we the people. Persons are not people, and people are not persons. I got one thing I want to say. When all this first, it had been happening to me all my life, but when they first started revealing themselves to me, is when I went to court, and I could choose to. First of all, I had court somewhere else and I got it moved, but the first time I went to court, I got beat, stunts, tased in the head, and everything else, and took to the hospital and done even worse. But I overcame that. I forgave them, and I brought it down to another county where I was staying at the time, and I went and I hold on. I went and I could have decided I was going to sue them for conspiracy, experimentation without consent, malpractice, injury, and a bunch of other things, and torture. And I had done chose to represent myself at the time, and it got down to the last day, and I walked in there, and instead of choosing to fight, I chose to plead. Because I was like, well, I'll just plead, I'll get a good job, my family, we can just get this over with. And I seen the look on everybody's face when I chose to do that. It was like, dun 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 dun. And I went back there and I talked to one of the secretaries, and she said, you know, dude, we got a job. I'm sorry, but we got a job to do. And I didn't know what she meant by then. And then I went down and talked to the magistrate, and he was explaining about the person that we're giving a person from birth. All of these things. And I got home, and my probation officer at the time just called out of nowhere. And he said, Dustin, why didn't you fight? And I said, sir, I didn't want to get nobody in trouble. I didn't want to sue nobody or nothing like that. And he said, well, you better keep your body clean, or he's going to hold those things against you. Or something like that. And I said, what do you mean? Click. And he hung up. Well, I go down to my baby's mama's house after the court. And after court, and she wouldn't hug me, wouldn't kiss me, nothing. And she ended up writing me later, said something like, a good man don't let anybody or anything come in between his family. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And I would pray and ask God to give me this or this, and I would get messages on my phone of scriptures answering what I was asking. And I'm like, oh, is this really going on? I was in awe. I was like starstruck, or like amazed. And that's when the people around me that had already been born again and knew all this started being very, very mean to me. Very rude, very accusing, and very manipulative. And it's not alright. And a lot of the things that they would do, like I would come around a corner and they would be doing something, once that goes in your eyes, it's like you've got a pure white shirt on, and the bad things that they put in you are like stains on your clothes. And you have to take those clothes off, and Jesus Christ washes them and puts brand new clothing on you. Clothing in the Bible is represented by a covering, and which means more or less a filter on your mind. If you've got a negative clothes on, your mind is viewing things in a negative point of view, the filter on your mind. You look at it like this: if you take somebody and make them stare at a board and they have a lot of blue different things on there and red and some white, and you say, okay, I want you to look and I want you to memorize as many blue things as you can, and then I want you to close your eyes and then repeat them. And then you sit there and you let them memorize and memorize and memorize and say, okay, close your eyes, tell me how many white you can see. Instead of choosing blue, you change it up on them and say white. And they won't be able to remember not a one, because they set up that filter first. And that's a good way to teach you how to keep your eyes on the good things. Try to blame yourself for what's going on. And try to fix it. Like I said, one of the biggest things that you can do is to fast. And it's not an easy thing to do. But the reward is awesome. The reward is worth it. Anyway, I've always been a very strong-willed person. And fasting and doing some other things is one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life. I don't know why. I do know why. Once you live in a cycle for so long, it's hard to bring your body and your mind out of that repetitious cycle. So I don't care if it's getting up and brushing your teeth a different way, if it's getting up and just changing your life and remembering to change your daily schedule. That's something you have to do. Write down and make yourself a schedule and stay to it. Change is not easy, but change will come in the better. We are all kings and queens of promise, and God's promises are way more valuable and way more powerful than our ignorance. Anyway, golly, see. Anyway, family, I want you to know, anybody out there that is thinking about coming on the channel and saying something negative or trying to be an accuser or anything like that, I want you to know that I bless you, and that you are a child of God, and that you are loved and cared for by me. That if anybody tries to hurt anybody out there, I would be there for you. I would never let nothing happen to my family or y'all. I will always be there for our family, no matter what. God bless you, amen.